this kind of stuff for enough years. He's good at it. I'll say that, right, John?
Yeah, it'll be 36 years in January.
There you go. See, so he worked with Chris Hammond here in our market. We did this in May. We did it again here in late October, early November, where they worked together to send out a survey to our readers, print readers, and website readers, and ask them what they plan to spend money on in the next 90 days, really, the next 3 months. And so the thing that I'm excited about for us is this platform is, of course, so easy to get the information out of, but it's timely. And to me, it's the ultimate squirrel statement as we're prospecting, and John will walk us through here. Why should people want to talk to you? Well, because we have thousands of readers who have raised their hand and said, I plan to buy the thing that business sells, and I plan to do it this winter. So kind of excited to see the new categories and stuff, John, and I'll go ahead and turn it over to you.
Okay. I want to thank you, Greg, and welcome everybody from the Oregonian team. Once again, it's indeed a pleasure and an honor as a fellow Oregonian living in Portland, to be on your team, to do whatever I can, to assist and support you during this, darn ongoing pandemic. Just who knows? I mean, every time, you go to Oregon Live, there's a different update on, from the governor here, what's going to be happening, in terms of our, lockdown and new rules and regulations. So most important, I'm here to assist and support you in every way that I possibly can. And in preparing for this get together today, I was chatting with Greg about a week ago, and compliments. He said, you guys are great closers. That's fantastic. But he said, I asked him, what can Pulse do? How can Pulse help you guys? And he said, help us get more qualified appointments. And so I made it my mission to put together for our get together this morning some specific recommendations, a plan to help you get more appointments. And here's the good news. We work with over 600 publication, entities around the country, including your sister publications in New Jersey. And what we're hearing from them and others is this is a unique, remarkable opportunity for each one of you to get more appointments. And here's why. In the good old days before this darn pandemic, and think about this for a second, most of the businesses, here in the Portland area, they had a pretty good idea of what would be happening in the next few months because they had history. There was normalcy. They could go to their books, their records, and they could see what they did last December, what they did last January, and it would be a pretty good predictor of the future for them. But obviously, everything has been blowing up and changed because of the pandemic. Now, today, literally every single business category you guys can think of, they don't know, and they're quite concerned about what the next 90 days will bring here in Oregon because of the ongoing, how should we say, changes and impact of the pandemic. But because of that, and this is what's important, because of that, every single business you can think of, every business category, from automotive to real estate to healthcare to financial to legal, every single business wants information, current information about and for their business category over the next 3 months. Does that make sense? That in the good old days, there was normalcy. They had some comfort. They had some confidence in what would be happening. And here's the opportunity for you. Because of the pandemic, they don't know. And I've talked to so many ad reps around the country, and they said it's just remarkable when they realize that you have information about and for their business category, the shopping plans in the next 90 days. It absolutely and immediately gets their attention and their interest. And so this is an exceptionally great time to get appointments. And so, as Greg just mentioned a moment ago, we've got updated information for you. And that's why Pulse matters now more than ever, is because each of you have the information that is going to be most helpful to the businesses. Once again, Pulse matters now because of the uncertainty. It's not business as usual. Every business category is facing uncertainty, but here's the key. They want solutions and ideas. What they don't want is another sales call. And the businesses here in the Portland area, they're getting called on 30, 40, 50 times a week by somebody trying to sell them some media solution. And that media representative is talking about their media. They're not connecting and relating to the business with what they truly want. And that's information about their business, and more specifically, help me with some solutions and ideas because of this darn pandemic. So what has worked before is not as effective as it has been. And going forward, it's not going to be effective for you. And many of you have been on the Oregonian team for a long time, and you're very successful, but obviously the world is changing. And I was an ad rep once in the Portland area, and we evolved and changed to relate to the businesses and their needs. And so the Oregonian, with the help of Chris, and thank you again, Chris, we put together an extended, expanded shopping survey. And as Greg just mentioned, it's a unique survey. It's not a market survey, it's better. The survey was of your audience, both print and your digital audience. And all Pulse did in the survey, not rocket science, really simple. We asked the questions a business would ask. We asked what a realtor would ask. Do you plan to change or get a new realtor? Do you plan to buy a property? Do you plan to list a property? You know, which real estate websites would you go to? We asked the questions an automotive dealer would ask. We asked the questions, you know, what chiropractor, a financial company would ask, a legal company would ask. We just asked the questions of your audience that they would ask. And here's the great news. The original survey we did for you back in March had 200 business categories because we were focusing on that original impact of the pandemic. The survey we just completed for you now has over 550 business categories. Literally everything you can think of. And we're going to hop on your site live, your Pulse program, in a moment and take a look at those business categories. So you're fully aware of what's there at your fingertips that the businesses want and appreciate. And by the way, I've been also making some virtual sales calls, and every single time the businesses said, thank you so much for caring about our business and having information for us. They appreciate it. So the new shopping information of your audience is in your Pulse sales tools right now and ready to use. I want to share again, I mentioned this the first time we got together, but it's critically important. When you pick up the phone, you're on a Zoom webinar or hopefully in person again, make sure they realize they understand it's their research. So when you're talking to a realtor, now this is just kind of a little role play. What I always say is, hey, I've got some good news. I understand the pandemic has had quite an impact, but we just did a survey. We did a real estate survey. What do you mean by that? We asked the same questions you would ask. Really? Yeah, we asked, you plan to change or get a new realtor in the next 90 days. Wow. What'd you find out? And you'd share with them. They want to know because they realize it's their business. Same thing with any other business category. You're talking to a chiropractor. We did a chiropractic survey. It kind of sounds silly, doesn't it? But to them, it's their business. And that's what grabs their attention. So if you're an insurance agency and somebody calls you up on the phone and says, hey, I've got some good news. We just asked the questions you would ask. And they ask, what do you mean? Do you plan to change or get into an insurance agency? Wow. What else do you ask? We asked, you plan to get new health insurance, new automotive insurance, new homeowners insurance. And think about it for a second. Would you want to get an appointment with that person? Absolutely. Absolutely. I did a webinar a couple of days ago as one of the lead properties. And we're just chatting and sharing, some successes and using the information. And this person said, I didn't really believe it. He said, but I was frankly told to pick up the phone and call a lawyer, call a legal firm. And what I did was I shared the information from the teaser, quite simply, just how many households we reached who plan to change or get a new attorney. That got the person's attention, realized it was information about and for a legal firm. And he said, would you like to know more about their legal deeds? The guy said, like what? He said, well, wills and trusts. We asked about that. He said, how soon can you come over? He got the appointment on the spot, and he closed a $15,000 sale that afternoon. So quick summary. We asked.
Hey, John, real quick.
Yeah.
We've got Mary Chris that looks like is trying to get in, and I'm wondering if there's a way you can invite.
Let me just see. Oh, here we go. Thank you. So I'm inviting and admitting Mary and Giovanni.
Awesome. Thank you for that.
Yeah, my apologies. Just let me know, Chris, because I can't see that part of the screen unless I drag it up again. Okay. And so just in quick summary, in today's world, because of the impact of the pandemic and the ongoing uncertainty, businesses don't know what's going to be happening in the next 90 days. Huge unknown, big question mark. The great news is we just completed a survey of the questions they would ask for their business category of your audience. And they darn well want to know, and they appreciate it. It's a phenomenal door opener and a resource to help you get those appointments, okay? Now I'm gonna go into a little more details about how, okay? Well, I just covered that there. Here are the tools. Number one, and we're gonna go live in just a second, kind of a refresher here. Bear with me a second. The teaser, a very simple tool. It's the big number of your audience, how many households you reach who are going to, in the next 90 days, there's urgency here, there's timeliness, next 90 days. How many households you reach who are going to be a potential customer of their business category. In this case, 702. That's a conversation starter, gets their attention. The next conversation point or engagement resource using your information is the Pulse Flyer. And what's beautiful about this is it not only gives the big number, how many households you reach, Oregonian print and digital households, but it also gives them insight into specific product and service categories. And what's the benefit of that? It gives them an insight, a crystal ball into solutions that they can get more business. I mentioned a moment ago about that gentleman who picked up the phone and called a legal firm to get an appointment, shared how many households they reach, you're going to change or get a new legal firm, mentioned wills or trusts. And that was the trigger, the insight. And that's found in the flyer here. It gives them products and services. To you, it's not that meaningful, but to a business, it's huge because it gives them.
Hi, John.
Yes.
This is Sylvia. I'm sorry to interrupt. I think that Kim O'Neill is waiting in the lobby.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'm going to leave this up here so I can see it. Okay, Kim's.
Thank you.
Go. Yeah, I'm going to leave this up because it's right at the top so I can see. Thank you. Okay, and so just once again on the flyer, the benefit to you is it helps a business identify a solution that they can get more customers. In many, many cases, they weren't even aware of that opportunity, weren't even aware of it. It's this research that is that magic, if you will, that crystal ball, because they don't have the research. Remember that. You have it. And it gives you the opportunity to be that professional consultant. By the way, and I think I said this last time we were together, friends help friends. Many of you have relationships that you've had for many years. They're important customers of yours. Friends care about their friends and share this information with them to help that business friend of yours identify solutions. And so the flyer is a great resource with your information to get their attention and find solutions. The next quick piece I want to show you here, there we go, is the Pulse closing tool. And we're going to go live in just a second, as I said, but I wanted to mention it right now because I keep hearing this over and over from our clients. In today's world, and I'm sure you'd agree with me, businesses are reluctant to sign a long-term contract. They're reluctant, even in the good old days, to sign a contract, okay? Let's make it easy for them with their input on their customer value and their cost of goods. In other words, to get their net customer value. This is a great little tool so that they realize with their own information how few customers they need to pay for campaign. It's beautiful because it takes away the fear. It takes away the risk. And so many times I've had a business say, well, that's a no-brainer. You're never going to win a conversation on price, but you will get the yes when you take away the fear. Because they realize, number one, the opportunity, but now you make it easy for them to say yes with the Pulse break-even tool. And so with no further ado, what I'd like to do is go to the Pulse program live. Before I do that, I forgot I stuck in this slide. It's kind of a best practice. 1, 2, 3. 1, start every conversation with information about their business. One of our clients call that the tip of the spear. Start the conversation about and for them with a Pulse teaser or the first Pulse flyer. What's in it for them? Benefit, opportunity. It's your audience. Then share with them your solution, your campaign, your offering. And then number 3 is the break-even calculator. It's been phenomenally successful around the country. Grab their attention, get their interest with the opportunity for their business, perhaps identify a solution, i.e. needs analysis, discovery, with the flyer on where they can get more business. Oh, I should be advertising wills and trusts, for instance. Then share with them a campaign to reach that opportunity, and then with their input, how few customers they need. 1, 2, 3. Okay? And so now let's go live to the updated Oregonian Pulse site and share with you some of the new tools and resources. First of all, as we've mentioned and Greg stated, there are now over 550 business categories, 550 in the new survey. And so to access them on your home page, you go under prospecting and click on Find Hot Prospects ranked by business type. So you click there, and up will come the list of over 550 business categories that we asked and have the shopping plans for that business category for the next 3 months. And we've rearranged the rankings. It's now ranked most sold across North America. We've got over 6,000 ad reps using the program. And over the last couple of years, these are the business categories that are most sold. Starting with realtor, new vehicle dealership, et cetera. You get the idea. This is the low-hanging fruit. Look at this. Number 8 on the whole list is financial advisor. Great business category. You know, we talked about legal a moment ago. Legal is number 11 on the list. But let's take a look at the over 550 business categories. All you have to do is just click here on the left-hand side. It says category. Click on that, and up comes organized by category over 500 business types. First is apparel, you know, women's clothing store, shoe store, jewelry store, bridal shop, etc. Arts and entertainment businesses, automotive businesses, beauty and spa, child related, community service. This is huge. I'm going to show you in just a second the business categories that are most sold because of the pandemic. And community services, charity, philanthropic is huge. Then education business categories, events, you get the idea. Just on and on. Financial services, fitness, retail, another huge category. And by the way, your sister publication in New Jersey, they're getting significant traction in health and medical. And look at all the health and medical that you have right at your fingertips. And look at the way we ask the question for you. You plan to get a new or change a medical provider. And the reason we did that, by the way, is to make it more meaningful, more usable to the business. Because we had just asked, would you plan to, go to a dentist? Well, big deal, 70% plan to go big. Tell me something I don't know. So we asked, do you plan to change or get a new dentist? Now that's meaningful because that has real impact. And so then continuing on the list, more health and medical, home and garden, home services, another big category, et cetera, okay? 550 business categories. Everything from automotive to real estate to restaurants to specialty food, et cetera. It's a little overwhelming, but the point is it's there for you. If you want to find some quickly, you just can type in at the top of the page the business category you're looking for, like chiropractor, okay? And it'll immediately take you to that business category, and then you just click find, and up will come those businesses for you. And you can change the zip code to a focus area, or you could put in Gresham, you could put in Beaverton, whatever. Let me go back to the dashboard and show you a couple other resources that are quite timely for you. One is the COVID prospecting tool. I put together my personal top 25 list. If I was an ad rep at the Oregonian today, these are the business categories that I would focus based upon the research results, the shopping patterns because of the pandemic, along with what I've learned from ad reps around the country. What's working, what's getting results. Financial advisor, I'd have right at the top of my list. Laboratory medical testing, legal firms, credit unions, community organizations, charity, philanthropic. And then all you have to do is just click on find. And it'll take you right into a Google map, and you can select specific businesses. You can put them on your call plan. And I know you've got Salesforce, but it's a little tool that we build in the program. If you want to use it, you can click on businesses and create your own call plan. Simple as that. But back to the prospecting with the pandemic, if I might. Okay, so here's my top 25 recommendations. And then right below that, these are the 20 most sold business categories across Pulse since March. And so this is a useful tool in identifying categories that have a higher propensity, to say yes based upon the actual results around the country. And once again, you just click on find, takes you in, and you can then immediately create a presentation. So let's go right here to legal firm, click on find, and then we'll click on a specific legal firm, show you how quick and fast this is. So you just click here on create and click on teaser, and as fast as that, you've got your teaser conversation. You can change the audience once again here to the various audience options you have, or you can change and put in a custom audience, and that's the driver. Because all Pulse does, it's really simple. It's right here in the key points. We just take the percentage from your research times the household you reach, unduplicated households you reach, to get the number. It's really simple because you have households who are going to change or get a legal firm, right? But you don't know how many. And that's why Pulse asks the questions to get the percentage. And then the program Pulse just does the work for you. It takes the percentage from your research of your audience times the households you reach to give you the opportunity that the business is so darn interested in. And so that's how quickly you can create a teaser. While I'm here, by the way, you can email the teaser. So you just click on email, and it sets up an example email for you that you can edit. So you can change the headline if you want here. You can change the copy here. And we suggest that you email it to yourself, because then you can send it out through your own email program to track it. So Pulse is set up, and this is fairly new. We've set up an email function within the teaser for you. Now let's go back to your mind. I want to quickly show you the flyer. And so we're on a legal firm here again. So let's click on HS Law Firm on Southwest 6th. And this time let's do a flyer. Click on the flyer. And as fast, as simple as that, it creates the flyer for you. But let's say we're doing a Zoom presentation, okay? And so they're looking at your screen just like you're looking at my screen. And you say to them, we asked a lot of questions that you would ask, the same questions you would ask as a legal firm, right? Let's take a look at some additional results. Click on the editing pen. It takes you right into the research. This is really impressive when you're doing it live with them, okay? What else would you like to know? Oh my gosh, I'd like to know about probate legal needs, taxation legal needs, okay? You get the idea, employment, okay? Bankruptcy. And so you literally are creating with them, for them, an opportunity report. And then you just click on update, and they've got it right on your screen, but we've also put in the ability to email it. So you click here on the email icon, or everything that Pulse does is a web page. So you can just highlight the URL and email it to them with your own words. Or you can click on the email icon here, and it creates an example email for you that you can edit, and you can email it to yourself, modify it, make it more personable, and send it out. Okay, so let's click off here on the email, and let's go back to our home page. So that's the flyer. And on the dashboard. And then the other thing is, just as a reminder, you can create a full presentation, the one page. And I won't go through the whole process, but the benefit for you is you create a more custom presentation with the one page, but you can put in a specific campaign. Okay, let's see if I got a one page down here. Here's a one page right here. So let's take a quick look at the one page. Okay, so the one page has what's the opportunity, households for that business category, specific products and services to find a target solution, i.e. what to advertise. Oh my gosh, look at recliner chairs. I should be advertising recliner chairs. But then built right into the one page is the break-even calculator. And let's say we're on a Zoom webinar with them, okay? You can just click on the editing pen. You know, you've got a campaign cost. And then let's say, let's do this together. Let's figure out together what's comfortable for you based upon the number of customers you need to pay for the campaign. So what's your customer value? Well, my customer value is about $1,200. What's your cost of goods? You got to pay for the product, your services. Well, about 55%. So you make 540. So all you need is just 34 customers, just 34. Once again, as a reminder, well, I don't know if I'll get 34. What's the least number of customers you think you're going to get with this level of consistency and repetition with both print and digital? Well, I think I would get, worst case scenario, 24. Okay, so 24. Okay, they just agreed to a $13,000 campaign. How did we derive that? Simple. They said their worst case, fewest number of customers over 52 weeks, 24. 24 times their net customer value is $12,960. It's a great little tool that's built right into the one page. And by the way, in the one page, you can also share with them information about what they're missing. Give you an example. Well, I don't need to advertise with the Oregonian. I'm on Zillow. Zillow covers everybody. We asked in your survey, if you were to look for property available in the Portland area, which real estate sites would you go to? 35% said Zillow. It's huge. But if 35% said yes, they'd go to Zillow, 65% would not. So if they only advertise on Zillow and not also the Oregonian, they're missing 65% of your listing opportunities and buyer opportunities. And so it's a great little resource and tool to show them what they're missing. Today's world is highly fragmented. And in the setup, you can choose, I'm just clicking here, you can choose real estate sites, automotive sites. So if they say, well, I don't need to advertise in Oregonian because we've got our own dealer Facebook page. Wow. 2.5% of your audience, when asked, where would you look for automotives for sale in the Portland area? 2.5% said any dealer Facebook page. Look at this, 70% would not go to any local dealer website. Huge fragmentation, but they think digital reaches everybody. It's highly, highly fragmented. And so the benefit of the one page is it not only gives you the opportunity, the where to advertise, but it has a break-even ROI calculator built right into it. And you can also edit and share with them what they're missing if they're not also advertising with the Oregonian, print and digital. And by the way, this is your survey. We asked, have you bought or purchased, or let me rephrase it, in the last 30 days, have you purchased or sought more information from an item advertised in your local paper? 58% said yes. 58% said yes. That's a huge statement affirmation of the effectiveness in the Oregonian and Oregon Live. And so that's a quick overview of the one page. And then now, if I might, just quickly, I'm going to go up here under help. How do you put polls, your tools, your resources on your mobile device? So you've got it on your phone, you've got it on your iPad, just click on help and click on FAQ. And the first item in the FAQ is, how can I add Pulse to my mobile device? Just click there, and here's the instructions to very simply put Pulse on your Apple iPhone or an Android phone. Okay, simple as that. So going back, if I might, go back here to the dashboard. So you got it on your phone, you can just click here and up comes your closing tool. You just fill in the blanks with their information. I would highly recommend it. Very, very effective. Okay? And so now, the only other thing I just want to remind you of is there's a lot in Pulse. And we put together a training and certification program. Many of you haven't done it. It's there available for you, and you just click here, and then you can come in and take a look at any of the subjects, any of the features of Pulse, and just kind of reinforce and come up to speed. Prospecting, call planner, the teaser engagement, getting the appointments, the flyer, needs analysis, etc. It's a resource and a tool that's available kind of as a refresher or to learn a little more about the Pulse program. And so what I'd like to do now is kind of change gears a bit. I promised in response to Greg, I asked Greg the question, how can I help you? He said appointments. You guys are great closers, but let's get some more appointments. I put together, and this is the first time I've shared it with anybody, is a Pulse a prospect appointment guide. Okay, so let me go back here. Too many things on my screen, sorry. So let me go here. There we go. It's called Connect. And this is a guide for you to make it simpler, easier, quicker, faster to access the tools that we've just gone over in your Pulse program, specifically focused on helping you get more appointments. So let's take a quick look at it here. And I'm going to email it to you, Greg, the document here. Then if you could send it to everybody, please. On the
glad
cover,
to.
on the cover page, there's a little 5-minute overview. What the heck's this program got? How, the flow of it, etc. What's the benefit? How do I use it? And then, as I mentioned a moment ago, this is a guide. It's a resource for you to get better at prospects and appointments. And so think of it kind of as a gateway into Pulse. So the first step is finding leads and prospects. And so I put right on this document a link to the most sold lead list. You just click there and just click and it goes right into your Pulse program. And so it's a faster, quicker way to get and find what you need, okay? And then going back to the program here, the guide. So we've got your pandemic, prospecting leads, most sold. We've also got audience buying power. This is awesome. I keep forgetting about this. This is really an eye-opener because the numbers are so startling. Remember, this is of your audience next 90 days, okay? And so it takes the percent who intend to buy from your just completed survey by business category. It multiplies out the number of households and then multiplies it by a conservative estimate of spending. And so, for instance, coming down here, dentists, look at this, $136.7 million will be spent by your audience changing or getting new dentists in the next 90 days. We just, by the way, I just thought of this, put together a program for NJ Advance. In the next 90 days at NJ Advance in these business categories, $42.5 billion. It's another tool and resource for you that grabs their attention because this is real money. And so many of these businesses today, as we all know, they're hurting. Look at this, financial advisor, $101 million will be spent by your audience. So this is a tool that frankly, I overlook a lot because I'm focusing on number of households. But what's important to the business? The spending. And so built right into your Connect guide is a link into your audience buying power that calculates it all out for you. And so here are the links to your prospecting tools. You can put them on your call list. It's got a link to create a teaser or flyer. But then the other thing that I did is as I put together some suggested words to say, I recorded a conversation to get the appointment. So if you click here on link here and click on the link, is a little audio, an example phone conversation, kind of my tips on what to say using your audience shopping information. And you and I both realize that saying, just scripted words, is just not personal. So all I've done is I've given you the talking points, just some talking points here that you can personalize and use that you're comfortable. But the bottom line is, and this is important, businesses want to know the opportunity, how many households, what's the spending, what's in the crystal ball in the next 90 days for my business because of that uncertainty that they're facing today. And so going back here, if I might, so that's some suggestions on the phone call. There's a link right here to the email in follow-up because many times you're going to be leaving a voice message, right? And so there's a link to a follow-up email. And then obviously, it's a harsh world out there. Not everybody calls back to that voice message or email, right? So I put in a follow-up step, a follow-up phone call suggestion, and a follow-up email to your voicemail in first phase engagement email. And so in summary, the Pulse Connect guide is nothing more than a simple document with links to your Pulse program. It's a gateway, it's a front end. It's a guide to help you find things quicker, faster. And so, Greg, I'll send that off to you. And then you can share it with your team. And I appreciate your feedback. As I said, this is when Greg and I talked a couple weeks ago, I said, how can I help you? He said, appointments. And so that got me thinking, what can I do to make Pulse easier, quicker, faster to use to get appointments? There's a lot of stuff there. In fact, I think there's too much stuff in Pulse because it's confusing. And so this is your guide. And I'd appreciate your feedback on it. So Greg, I'll send you the link to it and you can send it out to your team members.
Yep. And John, I appreciate you doing this because not only is there a lot of information in Pulse, Pulse is one of a handful of tools that our salespeople have. And I think one of the things I want to help us with as we roll into 2021 is getting better at when to use which tool when. And there's tools that we should be using probably that we're not. And there's tools that we're probably leaning on maybe at the wrong time in the process. And then there are probably tools that we're using very, very well already. And so that guide that you did there is a good start for us to move into the next phase of our effectiveness. So thank you for that.
Well, thank you. And by the way, just sharing with you, I'm really honored to work with such a diversity of corporate groups and publications across North America. And everybody says that their team members have so many tools. It's confusing. Okay, what do you use? What when? Right? Just like you said. And I'll be blunt. Our most successful, effective clients will tell you that Pulse is the tip of the spear. In their words, tip of the spear. So regardless of what you're presenting with other tools, it still comes down to what does the business want to know? The business want to know what's in it for them. What's my benefit?
And this is our unique info, like you said. This is our audience, what they plan to buy. They're going to buy from somebody. So, does this business want it to be them? So that's a great thing. John, we got a couple of questions here, and we're kind of coming up on time, but just real quick, Matt wanted to know if there's a way when you were looking at the categories where the business has been closed. Matt's our real estate expert, and he wondered if there's any way to drill in. Are the deals being closed with the brokerages or individual agents?
Well, what I've seen from in the research, we specifically asked of them, what are your real estate plans? And we did ask, you plan to change or get a new realtor, which is much higher, Matt, than the other question we asked, you plan to change or get a new real estate broker, real estate firm. People, and we've done a lot of research over the years in real estate, people relate more to the realtor, the person, than the firm. Does that help, Matt? And by the way, my email is Marlene. Yes, ma'am.
I was curious of the deals that closed, more so than what people responded, because what I'm finding is it's really challenging to service the smaller individual agents, and so my focus has gone back towards working with brokerages and agents. So I was intrigued when I saw that 46% of the deals had closed in the real estate category, and that's where I was curious. Can we get insight as to who those deals were with and what kind of tools those deals included, and see what that looks like as far as what we're offering our customers in this market?
Okay, Matt, do this if you would. My email is Marling, Marling @paper.net. Send me an email sometimes we can get together. I'm more than happy to answer your questions in detail.
Cool.
Okay. So Marling @paper.net, Matt, and happy to just go through it with you and answer your questions live. Okay.
And then John, real quick, Anna here asked if there's a way to update the text in the teaser. For example, she looked at seeking employment, and the language says get more customers, and she's thinking maybe it should say get more candidates. Is that
that's awkward?
Is that something we have the ability to edit, or is that something that we would have to take the numbers out of Pulse to customize in her email?
The reality is today it's set up to do a more of a business-to-business presentation. And so, that's why it says shop. But what we're working on for some other corporate groups is a recruitment presentation. because obviously the
Right.
words need to be changed, you know, candidate. Okay. And so
All right. So Anna, in the meantime, Sylvie can probably help you with what's the quickest, easiest way for you to get what you need out of here, and then I'll, you know, continue to, you know, ask John for more and more like I've been doing.
I sure can.
But there's a lot of recruitment information in there. We asked about their personal plans, job-wise, get a new job, change jobs, full-time, part-time, but also what type of job are you qualified for, looking for. So very meaningful information that's going to be of value, you know, to your target audience for recruitment. Okay.
Yep.
But it's a
Wonderful.
work in progress, a work in progress. We got the information, but you know, our clients are grabbing the information and using it so it makes sense. Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Yep. All right. Any other questions for John? We've got him here. Well, John, thank you again so much for all the work that you put together, not only in the training here today, but in, you know, creating the platform and the data and that sort of thing. I added Pulse to my home screen on my cell phone while we were talking here. I think that's something that now that I've got it, it's going to be an easier thing. So I'm kind of excited about exploring that. And we'll send out the prospecting tips that you've sent there. And again, if anybody has any questions, Sylvie and I talk to John fairly regularly. He does a good job of following up and, you know, keeping an eye on us even proactively. And feel free to reach out to him if he can help you guys as well. And these readers are going to buy something from somebody. Let's help them, you know, find the good ones. So thanks, everybody.
Okay, Marlene@paper.net, if I can help. Thank you.
Thank you very much.